So, you've done all the hard work. You've finished the research, you wrote the paper, and now you're just staring at a blank screen, totally stuck on one simple question. What size is this poster even supposed to be? Don't worry, we're about to make this the easiest decision you make all week. Oh yeah, we've all been there. That pressure is real. You've got to squeeze months, maybe even years of work onto a single sheet. The very last thing you want is to be that person who shows up with a poster that's way too big for the board, or even worse, one that's tiny and lost in a huge space. But here's the good news. This is one problem that is actually super easy to solve. We're going to break down a really simple process that'll help you nail it every single time. Okay, so where do we start? What is the absolute most important first step? It's not your design, it's not even your content, it's the rules. You've got to check the conference guidelines. I can't stress this enough. Before you even think about opening up your design software, you have to find the official guidelines from the people running the conference. They will tell you the exact, specific dimensions of your space. Ignoring this is, seriously, the fastest way to create a poster that just plain won't fit. It's a disaster you can so easily avoid. And you'll often see a pretty big difference depending on where in the world the conference is. Here in the US, you'll probably get a pretty big 4x8 foot space, which is perfect for those wide, landscape-style posters. But if you're going international, you should expect smaller spaces, metric measurements, and, a lot of the time, a preference for vertical, portrait posters. So what's the big takeaway here? You've got to check the guidelines, always. Okay, so once you know the absolute maximum dimensions you can work with, the next step is to look inward, at your own research and what you're actually putting on the poster. This is the big question you have to ask yourself. See, the perfect size for your poster isn't just about fitting on the display board. It's about presenting your specific content in the clearest, most engaging way possible. You know, a poster that's mostly text is going to have totally different needs than one that's jam-packed with big, detailed images. So just take a quick inventory. How many pages of text are you trying to summarize here? How many images do you absolutely need? And what about tables and charts? Just getting a rough count of these things in your head is going to be a huge help for what comes next. Now let's put it all together. This is where we take the rules from the conference and mash them up with the reality of your content. Okay, this chart right here is your new best friend. It gives you a really fantastic place to start. All you do is find the row that basically matches that little content inventory you just did. So for example, if you've got about, say, 5 to 10 pages of text and a handful of images, a poster that's around 36 by 48 or 36 by 60 inches is probably a great fit. But if you're dealing with a ton of data, like over 20 pages of text and lots of figures, you're definitely going to need a bigger format, like a 48 by 72 or maybe even a 48 by 96, just so your text isn't microscopic. And I've got to be really clear about this. This chart is a guide. It is not gospel. It's a starting point. You still have to use your best judgment. The goal is to find the perfect size for your content that still fits inside the required limits from the conference. So let's boil this all down, shall we? This whole process really just comes down to a super simple 2-step plan. That's it. It really is that straightforward. Step 1, check the rules to get your maximum size. Step 2, look at your content and use the guide to find your ideal size. Then you just pick a final size that makes both of those things happy, and you are good to go. And just like that, you've taken all the stress and guesswork out of picking a poster size, and you can move on to the fun part. With all the logistics handled, you can put your energy where it really matters, designing a poster that's clear, compelling, and memorable, one that really does your hard work justice. So the question isn't what size should it be anymore. Now it's how are you going to make it stand out?